Hello and welcome back to the 410. My name is Adrian, your host, and we're back on a Wednesday here on the 410. God said let there be light here on the 410, so we're bringing it to you. Of course, we got the Orioles here up on deck here after their poor performance yesterday. Of course, we got to get into the NBA action. Well, if you watch some of that, it was nothing but fantastic, like I'm telling you. Before we get into that, in the NBA picks tonight, K-Hill Electric on standby for any electrical needs you may have, whether they're big, small. You let them know exactly what you need, and they're going to be on the way with the best service and the best price in town, y'all. All right, the Orioles, they've been killing me here lately. They on a 4-game road losing streak. They went out to the Twin City and got their head kicked in last night, 9-1. I'm not spending any time on that game. They up again tonight at 7:40. We got Uncle Charlie on the mound. He's pitching just a tad bit under a dime there for the ERA. We need you to bring that down to at least a nickel, Uncle Charlie. Hopefully he can get the job done here, and hopefully we can wake up on offense because we didn't bring our bats to Minnesota, so we need to get a special delivery from Baltimore to Minnesota. Baseball bats in the bag. Y'all need to use them tonight. Let's get the job done, Orioles. I'm telling you, the whole Baltimore is behind y'all. Let's get into the NBA with last night. Of course, we had big games on tap there. First game up in the NBA last night was Indiana going up against Cleveland. I told you already, my pick was Indiana from the jump. Indiana plus the 8.5 last night. And my goodness, even though all three of the players that I told you were game time decisions yesterday, except I didn't let you know DeAndre Hunter was out. I told you it was three. It was Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, and of course, Darius Garland was out for them. And it was a big effect in Cleveland. But Spider held it down. He almost had 50 last night, and I thought Cleveland had this thing under control. It was 119 to 112. I was biting my nails just to think if Indiana was going to hold on to that 8.5 points. And next thing I know, Tyrese Halliburton comes out and drops the hammer on them here at the end of the game, and they steal another game in Cleveland, going to Indiana, up 2-0. I don't know if Cleveland's going to be able to win a game in this series. This is definitely going to be a surprise here in the second round. Next game up was the Warriors going up against Minnesota. Of course, we knew there was going to be fireworks in this game, but we didn't know it was just going to be fireworks with bricks everywhere. Minnesota was shooting terribly all game there. They lost this game 99-88. Golden State, they didn't play much better. It was a defensive struggle all night long, and I don't even know if you want to call it a defensive struggle. Minnesota, they just couldn't make any shots. Golden State was pretty much on the same tip. It was just a messy game. Golden State got the job done in game one. One thing is for sure, Minnesota better not let another game slip and then be going down to Golden State down 2 games. They might not get a chance to make it back to Minnesota. Tonight's games here, big games here. We got Boston going up against New York. Of course, New York stole that game the other night. My goodness, that was a steal if you ever caught one. Boston's probably going to be much more focused tonight. Much more on point. I think they're going to bring that same energy that they had the other night. But, you know, of course, New York is going to be ready for action here. I think New York going to try to steal another game in Boston. No way in the world I'm not taking New York plus these 10.5 points tonight. But, of course, you know how New York can get down. They might go out there and just lay down. But I don't think they're doing that there. I think they're really motivated to try to get the job done here against Boston. If they can steal another game against Boston, I know that they know they'll be in the driver's seat in this series. So we're going to take New York tonight. Of course, Boston's my pick for the series. I expect this to be a very good game. Next game of the night is going to be the Nuggets going up against the Thunder. Of course, Jokic came through with a 40-plus, 20-plus night the other night. I don't see anything changing unless they found some other guys that they didn't play the other night. They're going to go in there and stop Jokic. I think Jokic is going to get those same type of numbers here tonight. But the difference is going to be, can they shut down the rest of the crew? They can't have Aaron going crazy, doing 180s, shooting threes, doing all the stuff he was doing. That's the problem. You got to limit what they're doing, let Jokic do his thing, and limit the rest of those guys. But once again, OKC, I don't think they played their best game the other night. They've been on a little bit of rest after that Memphis series, so I think for sure after getting that action the other night against Jokic, they'll tighten up tonight. I think OKC is going to get the job done. 10.5 points. My goodness, that's a big number here. But I'm going to take OKC minus the 10.5 tonight, despite the fact that I know Denver is hungry and ready to go. Thank you again for your time today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this, like, share it with somebody. We're going to continue to grow this thing on the 410. Don't forget, I'm going to be down at the stadium on Tuesday, going live, trying to set that up. So that'll be a great performance there for us. And of course, if you haven't already, please reach out to your family and friends. Make sure they're doing okay. This is Adrian here on the 410.